Open champion from Fort Myers, Florida.
Right,
put your hands together for Kyle Yates.
Court, if you would, please.
And next is a college student at
Welcome to Championship Court here at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden here in Indian Wells, California. You are looking at what is about to be the men's gold medal final. This is a big one coming up right now. This is the pro division, in case you're new to pickleball. But I'm guessing that most of you right now are avid fans. On the left side of your court, Steve Deakin serves. His partner, wearing white and black, Erik Lange. Erik Lange puts that high forehand into the net. And taking over serving responsibilities is going to be Kyle Yates of Fort Myers, Florida. And his partner hitting the ball there, Mr. Benjamin Johns.
Does anyone know him? Who is that guy?
He's an up-and-comer in the sport of pickleball. He's got some potential. All these players, exceptional players, and there's an exceptional around the post. Look at that, defended by Deakin.
Well defended. That was not
Erik
easy.
Lange, so aggressive up at the net. Okay, so this is what we've got to look forward to.
Yeah, and just before we got started, Mark, I was talking about the last tournament that these guys played. We're in the Tournament of Champions, and Steve and Erik lost to Kyle and Ben twice in that tournament. That was back in August. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. Ben and Kyle coming from the winner's side of the bracket, and Erik and Steve coming from the opportunity side.
All right, Melissa McCurley spitting some early statistics here. Early in game number one.
I couldn't help myself. I wanted to get it out early so I could watch the game now.
Great. I'm glad. Melissa, one of the hardest working people in pickleball. And Kyle Yates worked pretty hard to get to that ball. Ben John's not able to hold on. Our other special guest, he was with us earlier tonight when we saw some of the men's gold medal in the senior bracket. Happy to welcome back Wesley Gabrielson. Sorry, Wes, to mangle your name there.
That's all right. Happy to be here.
I know, so excited.
Tricky. There's a lot of eyes and E's, and that ball has eyes for the inside of the court. Lange is going to check with him. I think that caught.
Sounds like the crowd does not think so.
As we take a look here at the replay powered by Selkirk, oh, looks like we just missed it there. But Lange, okay. I feel like it caught.
I'm a little bit surprised early on. It seems like Erik and Steve are counterpunching a little bit more than I anticipated. I thought they were going to kind of settle in and grind with dinks a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, and you've played with each of these gentlemen, correct?
I have had the good fortune of playing a tournament or two with each of these four gentlemen.
It's nicer to be with them than against them.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And you played in this bracket too, Wes?
I did play in this. A great get from Erik.
Oh.
I did have the good fortune of playing in this bracket yesterday. Came up one win short from making it into the Final Four, so I was 5th place, but a great fun day.
5th place, Wes.
I know.
Out of how many teams went there? Like
I think we had 60.
7 something. It was a big bracket. So a bracket so large it's actually carried over into a second day. How do the players like that?
I think people really like it. I think they like to feed off of that energy. I mean, this is amazing. All these people in this stadium. Get a little rest before playing those really important matches of the day. So.
Well, good, and these guys will certainly have needed some rest. They have gotten some rest since playing a little bit earlier today. These matches were pre-scheduled, so the teams would know when they were going to be out here. This is the men's gold, pro gold match, highly anticipated. And like you said, Wes, there's some great crowds here tonight.
Yeah, the energy's been awesome. The matches have been fantastic. Strategy-wise here and kind of the flow of the play, I expect the team of Deakin and Lange to probably target Kyle a little bit more with dinks. I think we've seen that so far. While also trying to keep Ben honest, so they may try to hit behind him a little bit. And
they're keeping him back right now, doing a good job of doing so. That was a great defensive play by both players.
Unbelievable digs.
Then Steve said I better put one where they can't get it, right?
Steve is one of the best players on the circuit in terms of putting the ball away, hitting at an angle.
And that was fantastic. That was not going to come back. So it's 1-3-1. Ben Johns has got his night game apparel on there, doesn't he?
He does.
Looking
He's
good
ready
in
when-
his black and gold.
You know what? When he's done out here, I hear he's going to be hitting the club. He's ready. He's got the bling going. I like it. One thing after we watch this lob, it goes a little bit out. Kyle tries to do some topspin to drop it in. Can't quite do it. Typically, Wesley Gabrielson, when you're looking at two opponents, it's a good idea often when you're in the dinking situation, when you're in a drop situation, to play to the shorter one who doesn't have quite the same reach as the taller one might. But I'm kind of thinking right now, as we see Yates and Johns seem to target the taller Lange a little bit more, is that possibly because he's a little bit of less experience here on this big stage, whether it's here at the finals at Indian Wells or at other events, that maybe they think that there might be some nerves settling in early?
I think that may be the case. I think they're trying to kind of get a feel for how Erik's playing with his confidence level. Erik is definitely going to take a few more chances than Steve will typically, and so maybe they're hoping for some misses occasionally by doing that, going towards him.
Well, you can tell both gentlemen have been working really hard preparing for nationals.
Definitely.
You know, is this the final you would have predicted?
Out of those 64?
Out of those,
Well,
yeah.
Selfishly, I would like to be here myself.
Yes, yes.
But, I definitely expected these two teams to be in the Final Four.
Oh,
that was
okay.
my prediction beforehand, and very proud of all four players being good friends of mine and just watching them compete at their highest level in these matches.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to seeing this tonight. So far, the players are playing excellent.
So we had a question for you, Wes, after this. I mean, some questions I've given you some time to think about them. This one I'm not, because I think an answer is going to be pretty at hand. I'll ask it to you after we see this exchange. All right, so there we go. So typically when we watch you play, some people have noticed that you tend to serve with one hand and then switch and play most of the point, although not always all of it, with your other hand. I think you serve with your right and then play the rest with your left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so can you tell us, maybe after this point, why? Why make that switch between the serve and sort of whatever comes next?
Oh, it's a great move from Ben.
It really was. He was waiting on that, right? Just sitting, waiting to get that poach.
He was, and Kyle did a great job of setting him up real quickly. So I came from baseball, where I threw right-handed, and then I right and eat with my left hand. So the power came from the right side. That's why I serve right-handed and hit overheads right.
All that power eating.
Yeah, when you were talking about the power salad.
Yeah, that's right.
I've been enjoying those all week.
And what about, just to sort of, follow up on this, what about on overhead smashes? Same thing?
Right hand, yeah.
Same thing, right hand, same as the serve.
Yeah.
There we go.
You
right
dink
now,
with both hands. I've seen it.
Dink with both, yeah.
Yeah, right now we're seeing some cross-court dinking from Yates and Deakin, testing each other's forehand as Lange and Ben take over.
This is kind of the pattern I expected with cross-court dinking, regardless of who's on the right or left side here.
Keeping Ben honest, just like you said as well. Wow.
A little present there from Ben Johns to Erik Lange. Says welcome to the stage as he gets him hard on the forearm, it looked like.
Timeout over here.
A little timeout going to be called by Lange as he maybe checks out one of those Mueller ice packs in the red cooler on the side of the court. While he does that, we're going to take a little break as well. We're going to be back in a second. Mark Renneson, Wesley Gabrielson, and Melissa McCurley live at Nationals. Welcome back live at Nationals. Mark Renneson, Wesley Gabrielson, and Melissa McCurleyson.
Welcome to the Sun Club.
Together, that's right, yeah. It's
and always a treat to have such terrific guests here in the booth right now. We're watching a terrific match here. 6-5-2, Yates and Johns
And Ben is so deceptive with that backhand attack. It's almost like the players know it's coming, but he's got 10 different places he can hit to. Yeah. I like to call that shot the pretzel maker. Turns people into pretzels.
Oh. You heard it here first.
Irina Terashenko was in the booth the other day, and she talked about we'll sometimes see Yates sort of almost be at three-quarter court, and that ball's coming, and he's sort of sometimes even baiting his opponents to hit to him. And as that ball starts to drop, instead of sitting back and letting it fall and then playing a dink, he'll actually lunge forward at it. And she called that a deliberate delay that he'll make moving forward, sort of making the opponents think that there's a safe place to hit, and then all of a sudden, almost like a fencer lunging at it to get it while it's high enough he can attack. Meanwhile, 9-5-2. Yates defending the attack from Deakin, and Ben just a little fired up right now for this Saturday night match. Paddle face 2 open, and that ball sails long as Lange takes over serving at 5-9-1.
They are the defending champions, correct?
They are.
This is correct.
And I, as a history teacher, I'm a bit of a history nut. I do not believe, since Nationals started, that there's ever been a team in Open that's won back-to-back championships. I don't think it's happened.
On the men's side?
On the men's side.
You know what's really nice about the live stream is we've got a whole bunch of people sitting around their computers. You might like to Google that, or maybe check out pickleballtournaments.com and see if they can find out whether you are in fact correct.
Great shot.
That was the correct shot for Erik Lange to play hard and right down the middle as we look at the replay powered by Selkirk. Tough for Johns and Yates to even touch that ball, let alone get it back in the court. 6-9-2. Make it 7-9-2.
We're seeing more third shot drops here as opposed to a drive then a drop, like we've been seeing a lot more in pickleball these days. Is that something you would have expected, Wes? In
more drops?
Yes, more drops as opposed to drive and then drop?
I think so, because all 4 players are very good at counter-punching off of a third ball drive.
Just like that?
Yes. I think Erik and Steve have made a good adjustment here with those drops, and they're almost trying to bait Kyle and Ben into attacking early, and then they can counter-punch down the middle just like Steve did on that last rally.
I guess it was perfect timing to set that up, and just like this, it's now 9-9.
9-9. We're going to stay here during this brief timeout, and maybe while we do it, we'll let people know about a couple things. We mentioned how Franklin is one of the vendors here at the booth, and they've got a special deal on balls, as well as the Ben Johns signature paddle. You can go over, check out that special deal, and maybe even give yourself a chance to win a Ben Johns signature paddle. As we look on court right now, Coach Morgan Evans talking with Erik Lange and Steve Deakin, saying, hey, I know you're doing okay out here, 9-9. You can't afford a little mistake, so Erik, here's what you're going to do. You're going to keep it low. Don't give them a high ball. I don't care how hard they hit it at you. You keep that ball down and put it inside the lines.
Do you guys want to hear a fun fact about Ben Johns?
Yes.
He bought me my very first smoothie.
Oh.
Top Gun.
Yeah, I'd never had one. He was so excited.
Was it Top Gun?
No, it was in Atlanta at Peachtree.
Your first movie?
A smoothie.
Oh, I thought you
Not
said
movie.
I was a little surprised.
All
there.
right.
I don't know. I was wondering why you guys look confused.
All right.
I thought,
Right,
smoothie.
right now, no confusion on the court in front of us. We're at 9-9-2 here in this tight first game, men's gold medal. There's a kitchen violation by Lange. He's got some big feet, and he's got to be careful not to step as we look at the replay here.
Yeah, and it was right. And we have referee Lynn Lehman, who was all over that.
Solid ref out there.
Yeah. Even though that's a risky play, I like that. It's one of Erik's strengths to be aggressive with his body and his movement. And even though it didn't turn out well for them, it keeps their opponents on guard.
Really sends a message, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have quite the presence. He's well over 6 foot, huh?
He's, I believe, 6'4".
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Now,
Look at all those counter punches.
unreal
crowd
reset
likes that
from
one.
Ben. That was the pretzel maker.
Yeah.
Erik Lange says, I do not like pretzels. Gluten-free, please. And he gets out of the way of that. Trouble is for him and Steve Deakin, Kyle Yates is still serving 9-9-2. They're going to have to stop them once more if they want a chance to close this out.
I don't know if you guys have noticed this.
Oh.
Oof.
Oh, it's a
It's a
great
tough
shot.
spot.
But Erik and Steve have stopped stacking. Erik had been on that left side for a lot of this match, and it looks like they're playing straight up.
And did you see anything that might have had Coach Evans giving them that advice?
I don't know.
Unless
I
it's
didn't
just
see
giving
it.
them another look.
Yeah, maybe a different look,
Yeah.
but able to get the ball back here for 9-10-1.
I know, and just watching Steve Deakin play, he tends to either be more comfortable or play better on the side that Erik is on currently.
Deakin nets that backhand ding. That's usually one of his stronger shots, though you see him typically go cross-court with it, where the net's a little bit lower and a little more margin for error with the extra distance. He also does like that drive.
And that was very nice. I mean, Kyle didn't see Erik coming.
A little drive poach combination there. I like it.
Steve has one of the best third ball drives in the game and allows his partner to step in front.
10-10-2. Got to win by 2. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh again. Deakin needs to get that ball down.
Oh.
Unlucky for him and Lange.
Yeah, just a little nut help there.
10-10-1. Kyle Yates to serve.
10-10-1.
Steve Deakin, aggressive backhand return. Really slices it to make the third shot a bit tougher. But Johns knows what to do with it. He knows what to do with that overhead smash. Gets a little bit of a roar from Mr. Johns. Not the loudest. We'll give him a 6 out of 10 for that. But he does like a high ball.
Ben is usually pretty reserved during matches, but in a big, big point, he'll let out a little bit of energy and a come on.
And a big, big smile.
And a huge smile.
He's a gamer, and they've got game point, 11-10-1.
Oh, yeah. And a little bit too aggressive there.
11-10-2.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
So
In there,
tough.
game
That's
one.
what happens when you play Ben Johns and Kyle Yates, is you hit multiple balls that you think have won you the point, and they say, nope, please try again. And with that terrific defense there, they take game number 1, 12-10. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with game number 2 in a moment. Mark Rennison, Wesley Gabrielson, and Melissa McCurley live at Nationals.
You gentlemen ready? You guys ready? Line judges.
All right, make some noise for these teams. Game 2.
We are back to the action. Mark Rennison, Wesley Gabrielson, Melissa McCurley here coming live at Nationals here at the Margaritaville USA Pickleball National Championships of 2019 here in beautiful Indian Wells, California. And you're watching the gold medal match of the men's pro. And right now you watch Kyle Yates defend an around the post from Steve Deakin.
And I see going into game 2 that Steve and Erik have decided to stay in that stack position. It'll be interesting to see how it works out for them early here in game 2.
Wow. Works out pretty well as Ben Johns jumps the corner to get that ball when it's still high enough to attack. Of course, the kitchen is a two-dimensional surface, so you can reach over it and take balls out of the air, or if you're young and agile like Mr. Johns, you can just jump over it.
Great ball.
Yeah, and that's when I'm not sure. I'm going to call that a backhand swat because I don't know what else to call it, but he is very effective with that.
He is.
0-1-1.
They call it a side out, and right now Steve Deakin trying to put some points on the board. There's that drive. Ooh, gotta think Coach Morgan Evans maybe suggested, guys, use the drive combo a little bit more. Steve, you got a great drive. Erik, you're enormous. Just smack that ball, Steve, and Erik, you put away the garbage, no?
It's regardless of the hand speed and quality of hands of any opponent, when Erik Lange is running in front of you to hit an aggressive volley, it scares you a little bit. So that's a great play by these two.
Yeah, Morgan Evans and his various partners, including Tyson McGuffin, they like to call it shake and bake.
A little shake and bake.
Yeah, and it does put a lot of pressure on your opponents, but right now, with such good hands, the ability to keep the ball low, which is critical when someone's looking to poach. Don't necessarily have to slow it down, but you do have to get the ball lower.
1-0-1.
Ben Johns serving 1-0-1, 20 minutes into this match. That's a tough drive.
That's a great pickup by Steve. Oh,
forehand hip,
yeah,
all day long.
That's the pretzel maker right there.
How difficult is that to do? I mean, wow. I mean, the ball was low. It looked like something you might just dink back over to your right or to the middle, and he hits behind him.
Yeah, I mean, Ben just settles in so well, dinking cross court, and then when he sees that ball just a little bit too high, he pulls the trigger and usually is successful. But very hard to read.
Lange and Deakin sitting on that ball. Well done. Got to think that they're starting to read, just sort of like a baseball batter who comes in. Sometimes it takes us a couple cycles through the pitcher to start to read their tricks out there, and wondering, especially after 22 points in game number 1, if Deakin and Lange are starting to figure out a little bit when Yates and Johns like to pull that trigger. Just a quick reminder, if you're watching on Facebook, we'd love to hear from you. The nice thing about doing this live stream here on social media is that you can talk with us. So if you'd like to send us a note, even if it's just to tell us where you're watching from, we'd love to hear about it. We heard a couple on date night earlier. Hope you're having a nice time. It's true. They said we got a couple cocktails going and we're having a little date. I don't know if it's a margarita from Margaritaville, but yeah, let us know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions for either Melissa or Wesley or maybe even myself, go for it.
How many people do we have watching with us right now?
On the live stream right now, 526, 27. And very often people will watch it later on. Remember, on the East Coast, it's 3 hours later, so it's almost 10 o'clock. So if I was back home, I know I'd be in bed.
Yeah.
Waking up to watch this first thing Sunday morning. But no, we'd love to hear from you, so please send us a note.
I have a trivia question for you guys.
Okay.
Right, go for it.
Has to do with this event. I'm just racking my brain, and I believe the first Nationals was 2009 or 2010? 2009. So in the history of Nationals, in the men's open/pro doubles division, one person has won the most titles with 3 open titles. This person won each title with a different partner. Who is that person?
Do we get any hint at all?
I will think about a hint for you, but I know that Mr. Yates, if he were to win tonight, would join that illustrious club as a 3-time winner.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me think about some hints for you.
Okay.
So it is a male, so we know that.
This is in the men's pro division.
I got to guess.
You got to guess for us,
Is he now
Mark?
playing in the 50s?
He is not.
Oh.
No, I still got to guess, though. It's good.
Yeah. Who do you think it is?
I'll tell you in a second. Meanwhile, I want to say hi to a few people who took us up on the offer to say hello to us. We have my friend Lee Bradwell watching from Toronto. She's a tennis pro there, and she's played some professional tennis along with Steve Deakin on the international circuit. We've got Ernesto Pickleball. We've got Scott Lippitz, who thanks you, Melissa, and pickleballtournaments.com for helping him identify that, in fact, you were right, Wes, that no team has ever won back-to-back championships in men's doubles pro.
Oh.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Lippitz from the 585.
Yep. Joy Goldberg from Annapolis. Rocco from Chattanooga. Modesto, California, checking in with Claire Lehman Dial. Little Rock, Arkansas. Ogden, Utah. Portage, Michigan.
Seems to me like in the flow of this game here that Erik has been getting comfortable dinking cross court with Kyle, but it looks like, oh, yeah, they are moving back to that position. I think that's been creating some opportunities for Lange and Deakin to attack.
Oh, that's an unbelievable reset. It's like he almost saw it coming before it even got there.
Okay,
wow.
you ready for my guess?
Sure.
Want to remind people what the question was?
So the question was, in the history of the national championships, since the first one in 2009, there have been many different individuals that have won the men's open/pro doubles division. One person has won more than any other individual with 3 championships. He did this with 3 different partners. So who is the only 3-time winner of men's open doubles, Mark Renison?
Matt Wright.
Wes Gabrielson.
That is a one. I don't like the second guess, but the first guess was a good guess. No, and neither of you are correct. I will give you a hint. This individual is a member of the 2019 class of the Pickleball Hall of Fame.
Enrique Ruiz.
Enrique Ruiz.
You know
is
what?
The correct answer.
Shoot.
Wow.
I thought of him.
Yeah.
And then when you said is he not in the senior division yet?
He is not in the senior division,
Oh,
but will
he's
be
still a young pup.
formidable foe when he reaches there.
Good for him, Enrique. All right, bonus follow-up while we watch Johns and Yates at 4-1 is can you name the different players he played with?
No, but I can tell you, I will be a future player to play with Enrique when he turns 50. We've already got it planned.
Nice.
All right, I like that team. I like your chances.
I do too.
Can I answer your trivia question?
Yeah, please.
Maybe on the next break I will.
Okay.
I'll answer for you.
Right now, score is 5-1-2. Yates and Johns adding to their lead. They won game number 1, 12-10. With that side out, Lange and Deakin give themselves a chance to try to pull a little bit closer here. Yates and Johns so good at once they have you in trouble, sort of staying on the gas, keeping you in trouble, making it feel almost like it's impossible to dig your way out of a hole. Ooh, catches Jet. You don't see it very often that Ben gets a little present on the shoulder.
No, I think he's so good with having his hands ready in front of him that maybe Lange and Deakin were looking for a different target to attack, and it worked.
That's a deep ball. Lands just inside the line, and Deakin's working hard out there.
So we have 1,200 viewers now, Mark, on YouTube.
Unbelievable.
There you go.
Steve looks to the crowd. Eric's trying to pump up the crowd.
Eric says, now's our chance, buddy. Here we go.
That's what he's saying, because they were down 5-1, and now here it is at 5-3. I know we'd like to see some more pickleball. Kyle and Ben are on the winner's side of the bracket, so if we want to see some more pickleball, we need to see some. We need to see this go Erik and Steve's way.
Definitely. Very fun for me to see a good friend and frequent drilling partner back in Oregon, Erik Lange, showing some emotion, getting pumped up. He's usually a pretty quiet, reserved guy, but he has been on fire with his play and his energy all day.
Yeah, he's got to feel good about it. And look, he's even more pumped up now. I mean, they're really feeling it.
I wouldn't be surprised if one more point is won by Erik and Steve, that the other two take a timeout to try to stop some momentum.
5-2.
Uh-oh.
Steve Deakin. Look at Lynn Lehman standing out there. I don't think he was down with the joke. All business over there, Mr. Lehman.
I know. He is always all business.
4-5-2 here in game number 2, this gold medal match. So much defense. You'll see, this is one of the times that you will see Kyle Yates go to that second hand on the backhand when there's so much speed coming at him, especially from close range. Uses that left hand to try to stabilize the paddle. But with that great angle there, not much he can do. 5-5-2, Yates.
And a missed return.
Wow, and look at that. Just like that, it's now 6-5.
I'm a little surprised we don't see a timeout. I know these two players, Kyle and Ben, are very strong-willed and confident and tough mentally, so they're going to ride this out here.
Oh, goodness.
Erik
is really pumped up. He is. Did you see his
we're going to
reach
see a
in there?
timeout
He is,
here yet.
and he has really inserted himself into the middle of the court, taking a little more real estate from Steve's side, and that's worked out very well.
All right, well, we're going to stay here right now because the action's great, the energy's great. We'll use this as a chance to say a few more hellos to the people watching us. Heidi from Menifee, California.
Michelle Cook from the 513, staying up late.
Steve Vaza is adding and subtracting points from people who answer questions. Speaking of legends of pickleball, is Jennifer Lucor.
Yes,
She's watching
Hall of
on the
Famer
stream.
tonight.
Yep, she knows a thing or two about how to play this game.
17 national championships for Jennifer.
Amazing.
Incredible. It's got to be #1 all time.
Amazing. What an incredible lady she is as well.
Catherine Parenteau back watching. We really enjoyed watching her play tonight.
I think she's playing the best pickleball of her career. She is on fire.
It's been a real treat to watch her.
Yeah, I love to watch her play. She creates an electricity for the stadium as well.
She does. Another kind of quiet, reserved person off the court, but just gets pumped up on the court. Fun to see that.
And speaking of pumped up, someone on Facebook's noticed the crowd has gotten pumped up as well. Let's see if that timeout, I guess, Wes, what do you think they were? What do you think Kyle and Ben had to say to each other in that timeout? Do you think they were just trying to regroup?
I think they got some water, regrouped, talked about just getting back to their game plan and trying to stop the huge momentum shift of the team of Lange and Deakin.
Yeah, they rolled off 6 points.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, if you are watching on Facebook, hit that like button, hit that share button so your friends can see. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe because we've got some amazing action coming up tomorrow. Pro singles.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows if it could be as good as this, but right now we're enjoying this men's pro match. The winner is going to get the gold medal and $5,000. The losers get silver and 3. Ooh, little miscommunication there. And sometimes it's that miscommunication a couple shots earlier that lead to that error at the end. The margin between winning and losing is so fine here. And if there's even a moment where you're not on the same page, it's trouble.
Yeah, and so far that was proven to be a really great timeout, if nothing else, to break the momentum that we saw coming from Erik and Steve.
And I think what I'm seeing here in the last couple of points, at least, that Kyle and Ben have rattled off, they're being a little more aggressive, trying to get Erik and Steve out of position, and then trying to hit actually to the outside of the court to get some free misses.
Great insights by Mr. Wes Gabrielson. And now the lead has shifted. You heard a little roar from Kyle's mom, who's on the sidelines here.
She is in the zone as well, yeah.
8-7-2. Yates and Johns back in front.
Oh,
Erik Lange.
Great ball from Erik.
And what really would disguise that was the way that he moved to his left. He shifted to his left, delaying that right wrist, which allowed him to change the paddle angle. And Ben Jones had to go to his right, presuming the ball would go to that middle spot. And that opened up that sideline for Lange as he serves here. 7-8-1.
Unbelievable big.
And you know what? I mean, look, it's a great shot from Deakin. You know, it's something we work on in Canada all the time, that little reverse tweener. But give it to Ben Johns for staying with the point. He didn't assume that just because he nailed that ball right between Deakin's feet, it wasn't coming back. He was ready to pounce on that second one. And that's really the difference between good pickleball players and the pros, is they expect every single ball to come back and they're ready to pounce.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, oh, it's a great finish. People may read into that tweener on the court sometimes as people trying to be fancy. I think that was an efficient shot in that situation. I mean, sometimes it's easier to put that paddle between your legs than to try to reach to one side.
Well, like, all things being equal, it gave him more time to react because it was able to go through his legs.
Exactly.
Rather than if he'd hit it in front, and that impact point would have to be a little earlier. So Steve Deakin, yeah, it's a bit of a trick shot. Maybe don't try that at home unless you're a professional.
Oh.
That's a makeable ball. And usually you'll see Deakin take those high forehands. Lange had to jump up, but he knows he's got to make that. 9-7-1. Yates and Johns within sniffing distance of the gold.
Oh, and a great drive from Erik with that backhand.
Yeah, Ben thinks that ball might have gone out, should have let it go, but He was feeling it. 9-7-2.
Oh, yeah.
Come
Oh,
on.
wow.
Football.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Stepped on the line.
Oh, dear. As we look at the replay here, powered by Selkirk, it looked like it was on the follow-through.
I thought they called it on Steve.
I think that's what he did, too. And
But
did
he
he
didn't
ever
hit the
touch
ball.
He didn't hit the
He
ball.
hit the ball.
Yeah.
Maybe it was on the prior shot.
And he didn't reestablish himself. I mean, that was tough to see, even tough to see here on the replay.
Take another look at it there.
If I,
It was the follow-through. And we
Was
just
it?
saw it again. It was the follow-through.
Was it on Steve, though?
Yeah, it looked like it was on Steve, and
Now, if I would, this is tough to deal with. I know it's a break in the action, but I would, if I had a timeout left, I'd
I think we're
take
going to
it.
get to see it again right
Yeah.
here. Let's see.
And
But Steve didn't hit that ball. Steve's
Yeah,
not the
no,
one
he
who hit the
didn't.
ball.
He didn't.
We're resuming play
Wow.
at 9-7-2.
Hold on.
Should be-
Everyone's going to check and make sure
be-
they're the right.
10-7.
Should be 10-7.
Oh,
10-7-2. We've got a championship point here for the gold. Ben Johns, Kyle Yates. And
there
that
it
ball
is.
sails long, and the Kyle Yates hat sails up into the air. Too tough tonight for Deakin and Lange as Kyle Yates, Ben Johns defend their national championship here at the 2019 Margaritaville USA Pickleball Nationals in Indian Wells, California. Yates and Johns, too dominant tonight. It was a good effort by Lange and Deakin. They fought hard out there, but
Unbelievable
between
match.
the experience and the skill, Kyle Yates and Ben Johns, so dominant, Wes.
Yeah, and Kyle, going back to that trivia question, joins that illustrious club with Enrique. 3 championships. And the first team to win back-to-back championships.